Hi kids, welcome to today's advisory lesson. Today is a continuation of the advisory lesson that we did last week. We are going to build on the skills that you learned last week, and then we are going to add a few new skills to what you already know. So let's get into our lesson titled Introduction to the Portfolio Rationale and Digital Portfolio Part 2. Here is your bell ringer for today. Let's test your skills from last week. You're going to go to the following website by clicking on the link, and you are going to download an image of the district learning goals. Once you have the image downloaded, then you're going to upload it to your advisory Google Drive folder that you created last week. We are going to be using this image on our Google site that we are going to build shortly. So, test your knowledge and let's see how much you remember from last week's lesson. Teachers, please allow your students 5 minutes to complete this while you take attendance. All right, here's a way where you can test how well you completed this lesson. If you click right here, you will be able to follow along with the how-to video to see how well you completed the lesson from last week. So here's our learning objectives for today. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to first select a district learning outcome as your goal for the semester, create the beginning stages of your digital portfolio using your Google site, upload your artifacts from last week to your Google site. The purpose for today's lesson is to create a focus for the work that you're going to be completing in advisory. You're going to develop your Google site for presentation of your artifacts that will be shared at the end of the year. And you're going to build on your technology skills developed in the first lesson. So let's take a look at the portfolio rationale sheet. Now, let me give you a little overview about the portfolio rationale. You are going to be completing this in 3 parts. Today, we are going to focus on part 1. So the portfolio rationale will be completed in 3 parts. Part 1 asks you to select a district learning outcome as your goal for the semester. The goal that you pick will become the focus of the work that you complete during your advisory class, as well as the classes that you have outside of advisory. You should become familiar with this goal. However, that doesn't mean that you should ignore the other goals. This is just going to be the focus of the work that you do. However, you want to make sure that you are still thinking about the other goals and how you are working towards them. So let's complete part 1 of the portfolio rationale sheet. You are going to go into your Google Classroom. Using Kami, you are going to open up the material titled Portfolio Rationale. Once you have completed part 1, you will download the Portfolio Rationale sheet with annotations, just like we did last week. And you're going to move it into your Google Drive advisory folder that you created. In order to make sure that you're doing this correctly, you are going to click right here on the outside of the Mac so that you can follow along with the lesson to ensure that you are completing the steps necessary. Teachers, please allow your students at least 2 minutes to complete the portfolio rationale, 5 minutes to complete the portfolio rationale sheet so that they can download it and upload it to their Google Drive folder. After you have downloaded the portfolio rationale sheet, uploaded that to your Google Drive folder, we are now going to start the beginning stages of building your Google site and uploading your artifacts. Now, the steps that I'm about to teach you in this part of the lesson are steps that you're going to repeat throughout the rest of the semester. You are going to get in the habit of uploading your artifacts at the end of each lesson to your Google site and sharing that Google site with your teacher. For each artifact that you upload, you are going to be creating a page dedicated to that artifact. Now, some of the artifacts we will already create, or excuse me, the pages we will already create today. So the self-survey is an example of an artifact that is already, or a page that's already created for those artifacts. But the future lesson at the end of the semester will be a third survey where you will upload it to that page so that you have all three of your surveys in one place. So let's take a look at how we're going to build our site today. So step one, once you select the Google site from the waffle, you will be able to select your theme or begin building a site from a blank template. So if you're familiar with Google Sites and you have built a Google site before, you have the ability to select a pre-made template and then start to add your artifacts that way. You can retitle the pages, upload the artifacts that you have, and create a more custom site. If you're new to using Google Sites, you may want to start with a blank template so that you can build your own and you can start to upload only what you need. Step two, once you have selected your site that you plan to use, either from a pre-made template or from a blank template, you are then going to create two pages. You're going to create the SEL self-survey page and the portfolio rationale page. Once your two pages are created, we will then walk through the steps of uploading your artifacts to those pages. Now, if you click on the Mac, once again, this will take you to a how-to video of completing the beginning stages of building your Google site. Teachers, please allow your students 15 minutes to follow along with the how-to video and begin building their Google site and uploading their artifacts. Once your Google site portfolio is set up, you will begin to upload your artifacts. These artifacts will include 2 of the self-surveys from last week, the district learning outcome goals from the bell ringer, and your portfolio rationale. From this point forward, the work that you complete in advisory will be uploaded directly to your Google site, the digital portfolio. All materials will be uploaded from your to the Google Classroom as materials so that you can download them, upload them to your Google Drive folder that you created, and then place them on your Google site for your digital portfolio. At the end of each lesson, you're going to paste the link into the private comment of your assignment so that your teacher can check that your work has been uploaded and offer you any feedback. The Google site is going to be a continuation of the work that you do. So if you are a freshman and you are building your Google site right now, you will take this Google site with you into the next year and you will continue to build on what you already know. You're going to add all of your work from your sophomore year, and then as you move into your junior year, you will add that work to your Google site. And then at your senior year, you will have your 4 years worth of advisory work that will be presented as your senior exit interview. So let's talk about submitting your Google site. So you're going to turn in your Google site digital portfolio to your teacher. You're going to open up the Google form. You're going to complete all the questions regarding your personal information. So this Google form is going to collect your email. You're going to type in your last name and your first name, and then you are going to paste the link to your published Google site digital portfolio. It's very important that you copy the link to the published site and not the editable site. If you give your teacher access to that, then they may not be able to see your work because they won't have editing rights. So please make sure that you are uploading the published link to the Google form. Once you've uploaded that link, you are then going to return to the assignment. You're going to paste the published site link into the private comment of the assignment and mark the assignment as done. This allows your teacher to have your link in 2 places. One in the assignment comments so that you can easily come back to it and access it, and then also in the Google form where the teacher will keep track of your site as well as your classmates' sites. Like I had mentioned previously, as we continue to add to your site, you are going to have the freedom to customize your site to reflect your personal style. We encourage you to make this site your own and to display work that you have completed throughout your years. So if there are pictures that are on your site that don't belong to you, and maybe you want to replace them with work that you've completed in your classes, pictures that you have from tournaments that you've been a part of, sporting events that you've participated in, community service hours, and activities that you've participated in, please feel free to add those images to your sites. You can add this to the header of the image, or excuse me, to the page. You can add this within your site. You really want to make sure that you are creating a site that is reflective of you. As you move through your years in advisory, you're going to continue to build on the work that you've done. The digital portfolio will now reflect all 4 of your years in advisory, not just your senior year. So this is the big change that we've made with our advisory portfolio. Now it's no longer about waiting till you get to that senior year to put together your portfolio. Now the advisory committee is going to look at all the work that you've completed from 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, and senior year. So before you go, I really want you to make sure that you check this checklist. So you will know that you've completed this assignment successfully when you have completed part 1 of the Portfolio Rationale handout. You have created a Google site named in the following format shown in the how-to video. You're going to have your first initial, followed by a period, your last name, and then digital portfolio. Your site will have 2 pages, one for the self-survey and one for the Portfolio Rationale, as well as the About page, which is your home page. You will have both of your self-surveys uploaded to the self-survey page. You will have the Portfolio Rationale sheet and the district goals image uploaded to the Portfolio Rationale page, and you will have shared your published Google site link in the Google form and the private comment of the assignment. If you are able to check off all of these items on the checklist, then you have successfully completed this lesson. Now, don't forget to have a wonderful rest of your day. Also, if you have any asynchronous work that you need to complete for your Friday attendance, please make sure that you do that. If you have any questions about what you have viewed in the advisory lesson for today, please feel free to reach out to your teachers. I am also available. You can find me in the school email. My school email is addonato@cojusd.org. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I look forward to seeing the digital portfolios that you create.